Yes, I know all of you can, but the goal of this video is to see whether I can beat Kingdom Hearts 2 at level 1. Let's cut to the title music. I booted up the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix HD Remaster, the PC version if anyone's curious, chose the critical difficulty, and dove right into my favorite music video. I picked the Strength Bat just for a bit more damage early, beat up this early 2000s Britney Spears impersonator, love the coat, and did what every good German boy who's ever heard a fairy tale knows not to do and followed this stranger to his mansion through the woods. I let this gimp wail on me for a bit before I found the key to his heart, thumping him over the head 7 times. I got a part-time job, did this 24 times to make sure I earned enough money to get plus 2 AP, had a flashback to these male-presenting nipples, picked the Dream Sword because this choice only affects the order in which you learn abilities via level up, which I will not be doing anyway, and equipped all the starting abilities except for Lucky Lucky because I am never lucky, including the most important one, no experience. I am now locked at level 1 for the entirety of this playthrough. I engaged in some light bondage, played the world's slowest rhythm game. Did you know Sora's hand has recoil collision here, but only the first time you hit it? I took a few practice runs, honestly just remembering which button was attack and which was jump, since of course that has to be different in every game. But after I had some time to adjust, I took it slow and beat the tutorial boss. I stun-locked my best friend, brutally hammered what looks like a child into this corner, comboed my other best friend. Am I supposed to believe this metrosexual king just lives in the same town with the rest of these unfashionable losers? I beat him with the incredibly honorable method of jumping and avoiding him until the time ran out. All the gems have got to be worth way less individually than the statue as a whole, right? How do we think they get into those chairs? Are there like little ladders on the insides they have to sheepishly climb up and down like going up a treehouse? I equipped Guard and Scan, tried my hand at America's favorite game show from 2008 to 2009, Hole in the Wall, beat up a bunch of Black Mage clones, started with the man in the mirror and asked him to change his ways, and took out the trash. Was that animal abuse? Oh no, thank God. It was just a man in the gimp suit cosplaying as a dog. I guess Twilight Town is Portland. I did some sweet kickflips, relived the plot of the classic Shia LaBeouf movie Disturbia. I learned how to use a key.
Kingdom Hearts.
Hey, I know that game. I destroyed an AI data center, stun-locked some more nobodies, got a little taste of Valor Form combos, then I mercilessly ended this poor guy's life. Let's be honest, guys. Roxas gets the worst deal in all of this. He never asked to be born. And after one of the saddest lines in the series...
Looks like my summer vacation is... over.
I reawakened the protagonist. I immediately stole, reappropriated all the items from my 2 compatriots and closest confidants, death abuse to get past this endless fight, met the OG Steamboat Willie, and enjoyed Twilight Town's robust public transit infrastructure. I caught the neighbor from a Goofy movie peeping, crushed some Heartless using their reaction commands against them, and hey, did you know this guy's name spelled backwards is Nadis? And I got into my mega outfit. I flew on over to Hollow Bastion, talked to Scrooge McDuck, met up with some white hat hackers, used the dual stance reaction command a bunch, tried to DQ Blizzard.
I guess you think you can psych me out by saying really random stuff.
Yes, the gummy missions exist. No, don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch any of them. And I landed in China. I met up with Ping, wink wink. Goofy immediately clocked her gag.
You're pretending to be a boy, aren't you?
And together we gained the trust of the People's Liberation Army, which mostly required us to take out a bunch of what must have, to these human beings, seemed like eldritch horrors beyond their worst imaginations. Sorry about your tens. Anyway, along the way I started leveling up Valor Form and ran through the pass. If you leave the wizard guys alive, the big centaur just doesn't spawn here, so you can easily make it to the mountain village. The fight in the cave against the Heartless Shan Yu summons is really the first hard fight of the run. These centaurs have crazy reach, crazy damage, refuse to stagger half the time, and my attacks are already doing pitiful damage. If I play it safe, get in combos after dodging their swipes, and shoot from afar with Blizzard though, I can make it through. I returned to see the village burn to ashes, and you know what? Now I'm invested in taking down the Huns too. Okay, but imagine if this was Shan Yu's army in the movie. I pressed triangle a bunch, and wanted to level up Valor more, so I abused a little mechanic here that you probably noticed when playing through the game casually. When you're going into an area where your party members are walking around, the game treats them as not being in your party. So if you were in a drive form using one or more of them, so any form but limit, it automatically kicks you out of your form. To be nice, it fully refills your drive gauge when it does this. This just means I can farm the drive forms in certain areas a bit more easily without having to worry about refilling the drive gauge in between. I got my Valor form up to level 3, the max level for now, which will increase with each new form we unlock, and ran on to the palace. I tried out Mulan's limit for probably the first time in my life. Hold up, that kinda rips. I really wanted Valor form for this fight, but I sheepishly went and farmed Drive Orbs so I could start the Shan Yu fight with Valor, which helps me get about a bar of his health done. I can basically get Shan Yu into a cycle where I guard his attack, which brings us into this standoff. Side note, pretty badass that Sora can push back a man literally made of muscle. Then I get a combo in, rinse and repeat. But the only hard part of this fight is his stupid bird. The bird just insists on getting in the way. Now is a good time to mention that in some fights in this game, if you lose, you can choose to have Mickey come in and revive you. That feels against the spirit of the run, so I'm obviously banning it. And by the way, if you go out of your way to take the bird out, it respawns in like 10 seconds. So I just had to play it safe, run away when I saw the bird overhead, make sure the Heartless didn't go crazy on the gate. Check out Donald with his stun lock of the century. And hit all my guard tithings to save China. I flew to La France, fell into a burning ring of fire, watched some furry on furry violence. Oh, let me just squeeze past you there. And moved on to another difficult boss. Both the Threshold Guardian and these gargoyles can one-hit me, so I have to try to bait out the gargoyles' spin attacks so I can use their reaction to one-hit them, or just combo and stun lock them. Avoid all the Threshold Guardian's massive attacks. Try to use the Bat's command Bat Cry whenever possible, because thanks to our reaction boost ability, it does bonus damage, which will be coming up a lot. And I can just barely eke out a win here. Donald? I think that's like his heart, maybe? Angela Lansbury and I let there be light, and I talked an old friend out of joining the Manosphere.
And turned it all into rage.
I fought this Ghastly as he possessed all the ballroom's accoutrements, watched him evolve into Ganon, and had to really focus on this fight. I abused the beast's limit as much as possible as it does decent damage and I'm invulnerable during it. Swing from the chandelier. Got knocked down, but got up again, because he's never going to keep me down, and just hid in the corner when he did his giant invulnerable attacks. After charging up Valor form again, I managed an effortless, picture-perfect combo finish. We got dragged back to Hollow Bastion for a meeting with this pantsless bear, got attacked by time demons, I guess, and unlocked the ability to summon Chicken Little. I'm assuming about 1% of you have ever actually used his summon before, but well, we'll just wait and see. I flew to Greece, ate a damsel in distress. Who's a bunch of good boys? Completely ignored the Amplet silhouette. I'll save you for another video, maybe. I came to the rescue of this silver fox, immediately robbed him, then got to probably the most annoying escape sequence ever created. The first section isn't too bad, I just aggro the bats and then use the goat, Bat Cry, to take everything out. The second section, these horrible Lance Heartless start spawning who do way too much damage and move incredibly erratically, all while I have to dodge Hades fireballs and swipe attacks. And finally, there's more Lance guys, more bats, and for good measure, a large body. But with expert use of Oron's limit, I wasn't scared a little bit and I actually escaped on my very first attempt. Oron and I pet the dog, and as a note, this is one of those fights speedrunners death abuse so they can use Mickey, but I had to do it the old-fashioned way. Cerberus is quite erratic and these little black balls of death can one-shot me, so I shot up from afar with Blizzard, used the limit to avoid the black orbs, and I got this reaction combo I didn't even know Cerberus had, twice, to finish him off. I did the world's worst minigame because Danny DeVito told me to, and ran back into the underworld where there's a power boost, so now's a good time to say that you can technically max out your attack and defense by creating power boosts and defense boosts, so obviously I'm just banning the use of any of them at all. I Dance Water Danced.
Dance, water, dance!
Yeah, that's what I said. And went to aid a damsel in distress again. For such a strong female character, Meg sure does seem to love getting caught. Maybe her getting caught and Herc rescuing her is like their love language. The first part of this Pete fight is just an auto-scroller. You just have to survive for a little over a minute and kill these two waves of Heartless. But the second part, he's throwing bombs everywhere, the ghosts have projectiles, and the bats come in at the most annoying moments. I used Valor, abused reaction commands, took out all the surrounding Heartless, and finished off Mickey's boss. Now that I have Trinity Limit, I immediately tried out my new toy on the Hydra. Hey, I wonder what I should do here. Oh, thanks, Phil. I lamented how one of either Donald or Goofy seemed to go down every time I wanted to use a limit. I became a horse girl, and I vanquished the Hydra. I flew to Anaheim, California, admired the topiaries, pushed the mouse, walked the red carpet, threatened Angelina Jolie, and walked into the 1920s. I beat up a local entrepreneur, and got a quick construction job. Now we can see the use of Chicken Little. If you keep the enemies at a distance, he magnets them in and immobilizes them. Ideally, I could knock them away with a combo and keep a loop going. I kinda messed it up, but I was able to recover, use the air/reaction commands, and win. I moved on to the OG Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, which seemed to be suffering from some sort of spontaneous black hole erupting. I heroically came to the rescue at the side of a burning building where Chicken Little came in clutch once more, and stomped all over the doll world where Sabrina sent Ash like some sort of tween kaiju. Again, with Chicken Little. Is this just how Walt Disney thought all animals looked? I protected a Union dockworker's boat, a real stand-up guy. And for this incredibly annoying Pete fight where he constantly goes invulnerable and does massive AoE damage, a combination of Trinity Limit whenever I have MP and my two useless partners are alive, juggling him in the air using upward slash and full combos as much as possible, Valor Form to do massive damage and refill my HP, then some air/reaction commands for the final construction site phase, and I was able to access the greatest treasure this game has to offer, Reflect. I also got Wisdom Form, so I quickly farmed both forms up to the new max level of 4, giving me access to Quick Run and MP Rage. I flew to Jamaica, froze some pirates. Did you know you can freeze the pirates? Abused Chicken Little, and boarded a pirate ship with a, let's say, passable Johnny Depp impersonator.
Best find yourself another girl, mate.
This Jeffrey Rush is not bad though.
This is no trinket, missy.
Good on you, Brian George. I froze some more pirates, and ran around a bunch. We love a 1-minute timed fight, don't we, folks? Then, this fight against the Black Pearl pirates was just destroying me. There's a ton of them, it's a really small ship with a big section in the middle where they're invulnerable, and it's hard to line up your blizzards so they hit multiple. Also, there are these giant cannon explosions, which half the time, because of the camera, I can't see until it's too late. I wanted to quick run, but that's the same button as upward slash. Whoops. I kept being unable to conserve my magic long enough to freeze them and take them all out. Finally, I discovered the secret. Yeah, it's Chicken Little again. The guy is seriously goated. He keeps them all stunned while I wombo combo them for the win. This Jeffrey Rush fight is pretty tricky, is what I would say if you couldn't freeze him. The only problem is I'm out of ethers and I'm too stubborn to buy more, so I keep him in a freeze combo loop until I run out of MP, I go Valor and lay on some war combos, then revert and go back to the Blizzard combos to finish him off. No wonder he feels so cold.
I feel cold.
I flew to China again. Yeah, that's right. Did you know that in the original 1001 Nights story, Aladdin is supposed to take place in China? Anyway, I death abused, heard this, bought some armor, which I'm pretty sure actually had no effect because my defense is still below the minimum level, but I just wanted to go shopping. Quick ran to the Cave of Wonders. What the hell is the point of this minigame again? For this falling section, I demonstrated the power of Reflect by baiting attacks and reflecting them, then got in a bit of a pickle because of how minuscule my damage is against these fat bandits, given the game is on a timer, and at the end I had to expertly reflect these projectiles, use Aladdin's limit to take them out while invulnerable, and I somehow finished off the last fat bandit after the timer was done and we were both falling into the void, which I didn't know was possible. In the treasure room, I just needed a bit of Reflect, Trinity limit to damage the fat bandits, Valor to refill my MP, and some blizzards to finish them off. The fight against the Fire and Blizzard Lords was tough originally because they're hard to stagger with my minuscule damage, until I realized I could swap to the Hero's Crest Keyblade to take advantage of its air combo boost ability. This allowed me to just cycle the Lords back and forth, use their reaction commands to keep them from flooding the field with hazards, avoid their revenge attacks, and take them out bit by bit. Well, I'm sure that won't be a problem anymore. I flew to, I think, Romania, maybe? The fact that Goofy knows about Santa Claus means Christianity canonically exists on multiple worlds throughout the Kingdom Hearts universe. Not sure how to square that with the whole heartless nobody thing, but we'll leave that conundrum to the video essayists.
I'm only an elected official. I can't handle this by myself.
I death abused. By the way, it's crazy how many fights in this game just let you die on purpose and progress. A real gift to us lazy gamers from the developers, thanks. And I ran through a tree into the North Pole. I bought Donald a birthday present so I could equip his limit, Comet, and these Jack-in-the-Boxes have a brutal range attack, so I needed to aggressively keep them in the air using my new best friend, Finishing Leap. After some more air combos and Jack's limit to keep us safe, some more combos was enough to finish them off. We met Santa, followed this iconic clawfoot tub carrying 3 small children, then fought a heartless cage monster who eats them to gain their powers. The fireball phase is the easiest, you just reflect it and get some combos in. The chompy bitey phase is the most inconsistent because you can just reflect the chomps to stun him, but half the time he misses you completely somehow, then hits you with the next one while reflect is on cooldown. And the spinny witch phase is annoying because he goes so high it's hard to hit him. The spin doesn't do too much damage, so I found I can just let him hit me, use aerial recovery, then combo him to knock him down. For the final phase, he eats all 3 and can use any attack, so I use Jack's limit for big damage. Well, he was out of range for all of it, but it would have been big damage. Then I wanted to go Valor, but yeah, I guess that works too. Other than literally not being able to finish off a boss, Shadow Form is kinda goated sometimes. The Oogie fight is quite literally on rails. You just avoid his attacks from above, especially the boxing glove as that's a one-shot, and knock him down 3 times to lay into him. The only hard part of this is the Heartless he can summon, but those can be manipulated too. He only spawns them in 1 lane at a time, so you can keep switching lanes to try to leave them behind while you keep wailing on the back of insects. 2 uses of Jack's limit in phases 2 and 3, and he's squashed. And just for good measure, I got the second part of the best magic wombo combo in this game, Magnet. I flew back to London, I guess, and set up some Magnet Finishing Leap combos, then abused the Berserker's reaction combo to hit them with their own giant swords. Sometimes they just fall out of it, and it's really hard to stay away from the giant attacks, but with a couple well-timed reflects at the end, I finish them off. God, I love that spell.
This goes to the strongest guy in Twilight Town.
I still remember you, Roxas. And I got the third dry form, Limit Form, giving you access to Sora's limits from the first game. I flew back to Gaia, walked by this emo boy and had to listen to him trauma dump about his situationship with some dark angel guy. Then the cast of Swordfish told me I need to jack into the Matrix, but that can wait while I level up all my forms. I bought some new bling to let me equip dodge roll, then kick-flipped and quick-ran over towards Jeff Bridges' favorite computer game. I had forgotten the part where Sark tased Donald and Goofy, and this game was for kids. I prison broke, robbed Tron, played a very mentally stimulating minigame called Follow One Box in a Circle, heard a plot twist.
Ansem the Wise.
What is that, the 3rd guy named Ansem in this series? Who do we think Mickey commissioned to custom sew him an Organization 13 uniform with mouse ears? I got Master Form and our second broken summon, Stitch. I played in some Mad Max X Speed Racer crossover games. Fun fact, these guys at the end literally cannot hit you. And traveled with Tron to put in the password to the Door to Darkness, the names of 6 Disney princesses, and Kyrie. Yes, I know the plot of these games is crazy, but they're really fun, okay? Stick with me. Now, why is Experiment 626 so good? Because he refills your MP so you can spam Magnet Finishing Leap combos to your heart's content. Oh, also, he stops most projectiles. I farmed Master Form up to level 6 real quick so I could use it in the next fight against the hostile program. I start with Donald's Limit Comet to make me invulnerable and do big damage. Then in the second phase I want to use Master Form. Alright, here we go again. I will say, it's pretty cool Shadow Form has a slightly different model depending on which world you're in. As long as I can dodge his big attacks, I'm okay, and thanks to my new aerial dodge ability from Master Form, I can avoid his lasers in the final phase and take him out. Back in Gaia, I went on a couple more Hawaiian roller coaster rides. Hell yeah, Donald. When you're right, you're right. Uh-oh. Why do I hear boss music?
Dance, water, dance!
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about how many times I died to him. It was 73 times. His moves are so fast and travel the arena so entirely, if you aren't perfectly on point with your reflex or your iframes, it's just Jover. I finally worked out a strategy where I finished the first water clone section with Trinity Limit for big damage, go into Limit Form and use a bunch of Ars Arcanum for damage and iframes, reflect as much of his attack as I can, wait around for these 2 losers to be alive again, and finally do a Trinity Limit for the win. Then I think Goofy died or something, who can even say? The real problem is that for the next fights with the Final Fantasy characters against the Heartless, although they're not super hard, if I die, I have to go back and fight Demyx again. So yeah, I was a little on edge. Oh my god. There's only one thing left to do. Actually get good. Actually learn which of Demyx's attacks I can punish. Actually get used to the button combinations to use ethers and limits, keep Demyx in the air, and quickly react to reflect his water attacks. I ended up beating him twice more, dying to the Final Fantasy fights afterward each time. But every time it took me a little bit less time to beat Demyx again. And after my 4th flawless victory against Demyx, I hid in the corner and let everyone else deal with the Heartless, and finally made it through. Oh, and also Goofy, who did not die, rejoined us. After all that, the 1000 Heartless fight was just a victory lap. I was on to the second visits to the worlds, which are pretty much just boss rushes. First stop, Jamaica. I froze some more pirates. Oh yeah, the cursed pirates somehow returned. I froze the Grim Reaper. Yeah, Blizzard is still really good here. I found Peter Pan in a ship graveyard. Oh, I guess that kind of makes sense. I collected the 4 medallions, mostly with Trinity Limit, and on to another boss. The Grim Reaper rematch is, as with every other fight for the rest of this run, tricky because a single mistake means he takes me out. For each phase, I just have to freeze him while he's going ghost, use Thunder and Blizzard to drop the medallions, then wail away with air combos while avoiding his spin attacks. Second phase, I can reflect his big attack, then use the reaction command and a couple Thunders to get all the medallions. After a few more air combos, he goes into the third phase, where he makes a bunch of skulls that jump around and one-shot everything. To protect Donald and Goofy, I go Master Mode, then jump on these conveniently placed crates to stay safe. Some more Blizzards and Thunders bring all the medallions down, and once he's finally mortal again, I just need a few more air combos to finish him off. Back at Halloween Town High, Jack and I styled on some children. To be fair, these kids can one-shot me. We use Jack's limit again to get the stolen presents back. On to the experiment. May I introduce you to my good friend Duckflare? Something about when they brought this game up to 60 FPS made this limit do insane damage, especially when paired with Sora's aerial combos. I know some of you are screaming at your phones on the toilet, "That's so cheesy!" And to that I say, and? Returning to the Gobi Desert, man, this is the one thing we didn't want to happen. I got to show off how good horizontal slash is when paired with Magnet, a few times actually. Did this first grade level color coordination test, and this little 2D auto-scroller escape sequence. My man loves chaining up Jasmine. The first 2 phases of the Genie Jafar fight are easy, barring any jank from the magic carpet physics, which there's a lot of jank. I knock the wind out of him, do 2 air combos into his head, use the reaction combo to spin him around, get 2 more combos, reflect to avoid his paralysis magic, then do all that again. Because I'm at level 1, I just can't do enough damage to avoid his desperation move where he teleports me to the Shadow Realm and throws buildings at me, but then the real fights begin. He goes into what I call his Jabagawadabra phase, where he throws lightning and fireballs at me that take me out in 2 shots and are impossible to avoid if you want to hit him at the same time. Finally, I realized his magic would be his undoing. I went up to his insane 8-pack abs and reflected the magic back at him, letting me knock him down, twist him around, and bop it. I headed back to La France. Am I crashing a wedding? I used some more magnets, pressed triangle to persuade. Can we talk about Zaldin's eyelashes? Used some more reflects and magnets, and went into master form to finish off his nobodies and get ready for his boss fight. Zaldin is hard. Really hard. He teleports behind you and says nothing personnel, he breaks out of combos randomly for seemingly no reason whatever and one-shots you, and his attacks are fast and huge, especially his DM combo, which if I get caught in it, it's Jover. But once I learn his patterns, I can jump over his attacks, use his reaction commands against him, get in combos with Master before that runs out, then just avoid all his attacks, use his reaction commands over and over. Luckily, he has this one attack where he just spams jump over and over, which is very easy to avoid and punish. If he didn't have this, the fight would be way harder, but it lets me get through the entire middle third of his HP. Once he's almost done, it's another tale as old as time, Duckflare for the win. One last stop in China, and I have to fight this guy who's definitely not Riku. I do such little damage, I just throw everything at him, limit form, aerial combos, then once my MP is back, Trinity limit to finish off the fight. I used Trinity and some air combos on the first Heartless fight. You'll never catch me! And some more magnets and Trinity for the fights against Zigbar's snipers. The Storm Rider is easy enough. I start with Master to do massive aerial damage to his horns, avoid his thunder, and just keep getting up on his back. Wait a second, did Phil actually teach me something? Huh. Anyway, he has an easy reaction command where you can knock him to the ground and do big damage with Duck Flare. Then a desperation move where he shoots lasers that are easy enough to avoid. And finally, I get another reaction command so I can finish him off with a final Duck Flare and head into the endgame. I took my final trip back to London. Man, Stitch is so good, guys. I know none of you have ever used summons before, but they're insanely broken for these big crowd fights. I touched the beam, traveled into the Shadow Realm, fought alongside my other best friend again. Did Axel just die to kill a bunch of the easiest nobodies? Now, this Roxas fight is hard. You have to really understand his revenge values, when he'll go into his attacks, and how you can reflect them, get invulnerability through limits, or just run away. I learned the speedrun strat for how to combo him for each phase, but knowing that is only like 10% of the battle. In the end, I had to do what I do and improvise. I'll just let the chess speak for itself. DJ, turn that shit up. I start by reflecting his attack, and immediately go into a combo to build up his revenge value. This lets me start looping him with hit, thunder, reflect, finisher, hit, thunder, reflect, finisher. I do this 3 times, trying to always be far enough away so that I get a slide dash, so I can hit him 2 times for a little more chip damage. Throw an ether, and then start looping again, this time with Blizzard, Thunder, Reflect, Finisher, 2 times for more damage. At this point, I wanted to ether again, but I accidentally wasted a high potion, so I ran away, barely survived one of his magic hits, and just waited out his desperation move. These orbs are generally very easy to avoid. Sometimes there will be one that randomly speeds towards you and is almost impossible to dodge. Luckily, I didn't get that here, so I could go back into the loop. I reflect his first attack, hit him with another combo. Then I need to do a bit more damage, so I loop him with hit, thunder, reflect one more time. I messed up the revenge values, I think because I only did 1 finisher on the first combo, so he doesn't do the revenge attack, but instead goes for his magic move, which I reflect, then immediately go into Trinity limit for damage and invulnerability. Once he's on his last health bar, I go into limit form, hit him with a full Sonic Rave limit, combo him once more for good measure, and start another Sonic Rave to finish him off. The Roxas fight gives you access to the 2 become 1 Keyblade, which makes it so when you use a drive form, you have a 90% chance of going Shadow form and a 10% chance of unlocking Final form. So I unlocked Final form, and leveled it up to the max level, obviously. Not to be mean, but what was her plan here? The thing about Xigbar is that he's incredibly annoying. His lasers fly all over the place. He kills Donald and Goofy right when you want to use them for a limit. But Duck Flare's eternal. After the opening, I go into Final Form to refill my mana and get a few more combos in. I knock him out of the alternate stage he brings you to, then it's right back to the Disneyland fireworks show. Just to be clear, it's not super free to do this. You have to maintain the air combo and hit the Donald reaction commands at the right time, or Xigbar will just break out and go into his desperation move, but it's very satisfying. Luxord is obnoxious. You have to wait out the dice phase at the beginning, then his cards fly all over the place and combo you, but it's just a matter of time. He has 3 moves in order of most to least annoying. Cards.
Cards.
They're so erratic, there's nothing to do but run away until you can get rid of them. Look closely.
Look closely.
You just wait around and pick the correct card, then combo him. And a challenge is it.
A challenge is it.
You can actually reflect this and then get a combo in. I just play it safe, hit him when I can, until the desperation move, and now we see the fruits of my Final Form leveling. I glide around avoiding him, do the final minigame where you make everything a circle, and finish him off with a Trinity limit for swag points. And Saïx, well, you grab his weapon and use the reaction command to knock him out of Berserk, and then... Listen, I didn't invent the summons in this game. It's not my fault there's a comically easy way to cheese what's supposed to be one of the most badass bosses. Yeah, he can literally never break out of this loop. Thanks, Peter.
You've left me with no other choice. I have to release the power in my heart.
How can you not love these games? Like, at least a little bit. If I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. be running up that road, I'd be running up that hill, be running up that building, with no problems. Xemnas 1 is a cakewalk. I bait out his long lightsaber attack, reflect the last hit, get in a combo, and repeat until I'm out of MP. Then I go limit form for massive damage, and run up that building one more time to finish him off.
It's victory or oblivion. So, Sora, are you ready?
I slash my way through a ton of buildings, bring back my good friend Stitch for one last hurrah. All these nobodies can one-shot me, so yeah, magnet locking them is kinda the only safe way. Armored Xemnas can use the attacks from all the other organization bosses, and they can, you guessed it, one-shot me. So I have to learn the timing of each of them and how to reflect them into him for maximum damage. I start with reflecting Xaldin's spear attack, then do 2 ground combos into Xemnas to bait out his sword swing, which I reflect for more damage. I get rid of Demex's water clones, then do some more combos, reflect Xaldin's spears again, barely survive his shield attack, and do enough damage to finish him off with the reflect. Riku and I fought a Mecha Kaiju Nobody Dragon for some reason. The bombs are pretty known to dodge, but whatever, we did it. Armored Xemnas 2 is even easier than the first one, as his only special attack is a bunch of lasers. I just keep reflecting his attacks, hit these buildings back at him, then if I fly to the top of the arena here, it skips a round of lasers. I do that again for phase 2, then finally finish him off. Final Xemnas. This is a boss worthy of this challenge. I went through about 50 attempts just to learn all his moves, the best ones that give me attack windows, how to safely reflect when I can. In the end, I had a fail-safe strategy. All I had to do was execute. For his starting Vines attack, it's always the same pattern, so I reflect, use the reversal reaction command 4 times, reflect, reversal 2 times, reflect, 1 time, reflect, 4 times, reflect, 1 time, then 2 more reversals. All those reflects have done a big chunk of his HP, so now some more to get into the next phase. I stay a safe distance from both him and his clone so I can reflect any attack he throws, then get in a ground combo and repeat. I use my last ether when my MP gets low, and I keep on trucking. Once he goes into the laser phase, I either try to reflect them into him for big damage or just start gliding around to avoid them. He grabs Sora, so I have to get to him as Riku while pushing the Xemnas clone back with a Dark Aura move. He throws me up for another round of the Vine attack, but the pattern is the same as the first one. This brings us to his final laser dome, where you just spam reflect with both O and triangle, so both Sora and Riku reflect the lasers for about 30 seconds. And with one final thunder, I can say that yes, I can beat Kingdom Hearts 2 on critical mode at level 1.
Starting now to realize on which side I'd like to be. And we wash away the memories of the time before you met me. 'Cause we live in different worlds. I think I like it better.